What's up, everybody? OCD Mikey here for a quick video. Actually, this is going to be a longie. I'm giving you guys a long one like the old days. You need to stick around and watch this whole video, and because you're going to learn something. Otherwise, you just may be under the ether as a big part of the herd. And who wants to be part of the herd? You'd rather be a rancher. In my video today, I'm talking about the magazines. Okay, it just so happens it's Robert Harley who is writing this blog. Now, it has nothing to do with the fact that it's Robert Harley. He's the lucky guy that it happened to be. Why did I pick Robert Harley? Because I keep getting on my home screen on my phone every day, Absolute Sound is paying for their marketing out there, right? And they're punching their shit into my feed every day. And so I keep getting this shit that keeps showing up. So I got something on the 3rd of October. I got something on the 10th. And it just so happens it's Robert Harley's blog every time. Okay, so I read these things. I click on them and I read what's the drivel that they're talking about. What's he pushing today? The magazines. And really, it's just about the media, the magazines. I don't really care who's writing it. Just so happens it's somebody who's been doing this a very long time. This is like the holy dude, the Pope of audio media, if we're to look at it in those terms. I'm going to take a second to critique this. I'm going to pull apart what was written, and we're going to look at what he's saying, and we're going to take him at face value. We're going to listen literally to what he's saying and see if it makes sense, and see what he's pitching, and learn a little bit more. And my aim here is to make you more aware of the audio media and what you are consuming when you consume the mainstream audio media. Okay, and we're going to take it from one of the old dogs, because, who else? The young guys this is somebody that's been doing this for a long time. I respect him more than any of the guys that I don't know their names, okay? So here we go. Hope you enjoy. Hey, everybody. OCD Mikey, HiFi guy here for another edition of the Mikey Show, your favorite black sheep in the, in the audio industry, and your beloved pal, and I love you all, too. And anyways, I'm getting here with, we're going to put the heat on the magazines here. As you know, I think the magazines are full of hot air. It's simply a marketing arm for manufacturers and the dealers that sell those certain manufacturers. It's a closed loop system. So I just want to go through some things here. We're going to go through Absolute Sound. This is Robert Harley's blog. So I'm showing right here, it was done in 2008. And it appears as though he wrote a book, and he's pitching his book here. So the editor of the magazine is pitching his own personal book on the top of this thing, and we can see this. It's the High Performance Audio Systems by Robert Harley. Call here to order or visit HiFi Books, yada, yada, and you can put some money in Harley's pocket. Fine, nothing wrong with that. Okay. One way or another, these manufacturers are paying to get promoted. Okay, whether it's through their own ad or, an article. What I was really getting at, which is October 3rd, 2023, is a regurgitated article, okay? So he's regurgitating this. He's pitching his book again. We can see it's a different edition. It's the 5th edition. It has a new cover. Again, a pitch for his book. Here's what he says. This is October 3rd, so a couple, days ago. What's more, the world abounds. Okay, that means there's a lot of them. In poor quality, even dreadful loudspeakers. Some very bad loudspeakers are expensive, while superlative models may sell for a fraction of an inferior model's price. So, again, this is total prose. The guy's just fancy polishing, just, what would you say, embellished, getting the message across. But that's what journalists do, right? They fluff, okay? So instead of saying, the better model will sell for less, they have to put it into 50 damn words and just like they're creating some sort of French painting, okay? So to me, it's drivel, okay, a lot of this. A lot of it is just common sense stuff, but they turn it into French, French decor. Okay, that's what I think. Overdone, just opulent, and that's how these things, so he's just saying some shitty loudspeakers cost a lot of money and some great speakers sell for a lot less. Okay, that's what he's just trying to say. And there's sometimes little relationship between price and musical performance. Okay, So this is coming from Harley's mouth, who is, whatever, God in the magazine world or something like that. Okay, so there is sometimes little relationship between price and musical performance. Okay, so what he's saying right there, and he said it earlier, you can have some expensive ass shit that doesn't sound that good. You can have some $365,000 speakers that just don't really connect you to the music, okay? But boy, are they pretty. Okay, and that's kind of what he's saying. The situation offers a loudspeaker shopper both promise and peril. Okay, duh. You know, I mean, again, this is why I don't read the magazines, because it's total strokage. It's just like, I mean, really, you got to say that? But I guess this is, I mean, is this what you guys consume? Do you guys like to just, you know, read this and hear this, like, and be brought through this? And this gives you a whole bunch of choices. I mean, it's like third grade level shit, right? But boy, it's written like college level. Okay. This is where reviews come in handy. Oh, really? Okay, so what he's saying here, this is where paid for PR comes in handy. Reviewers who write, okay, journalists hear lots of loudspeakers. They hear it at dealers, trade shows, consumer shows, right? But review only those that sound promising. Okay, so the journalists decide what sound promising. I wonder if the promising ones are the ones that buy the advertisement. Of the loudspeakers that are reviewed, some are found to be unacceptably flawed. If there's some that are totally unacceptably flawed, but they made it through the review, the journalist looking for promising models, well, I guess they're not that good at it because they find some that are unacceptably flawed. Now, maybe the speaker manufacturer is so good at concealing unacceptable flaws that they can fool the journalist until the journalists actually listen to them. So maybe sound promising has to do with maybe more like looks promising might be a better word. So again, he's telling us kind of basic stuff, but using a whole myriad of words to tell us that stuff that we already know. Okay, we got to go through a lot of speakers to find the good ones. Hello? And then there's only a few that are the really kick-ass ones, like the ones I carry. I'm just going to plug that in there. The place to start loudspeaker shopping, of course, therefore, is in the pages of my magazine. Because we have high standards for what constitutes good loudspeaker performance. Because we're journalists, and we listen to a lot of speakers at dealers and at shows. Okay. We all know the journalists like what pays their bills. Okay. They're not going to not like Wilson. They're not going to not like Magico. We know that. But again, journalists are paid to fluff stuff. That's what they do. They fluff. I would say it possibly makes it more confusing for us to make a decision. So if you find yourself with too few choices, how could you have too few choices? At the end of the process, go back and revise your criteria. Okay, so if you get it wrong, try it again. For example, you find a loudspeaker is perfect in all ways but size. Well, then it's not perfect in all ways, right? Oh my God, frustrating. You may want to find the extra space in your living room. What extra space? The stuff that wasn't there yesterday? If you have your speakers jammed against the wall, some of them are not going to sound good that way. And if you have it in a living room and the only way you can have your speakers jammed against the wall, it may not be good for some speakers that aren't designed for that. Loudspeakers' appearance also a factor. Inexpensive vinyl-covered box would be out of place in an elegantly furnished home. Again, this is such a drivel statement. Really? Do we need you to tell us that an inexpensive vinyl-covered box would be out of place in an elegantly furnished home? How stupid do they think the reader is? Like, do they think we're total just dolts? Like that we need to be explained that? Or do you guys actually get off on reading shit like this? Like, oh yeah, that goes along with what I think, you know, but you can, I mean, any idiot would agree to this. So is it just to appease everybody so that people go, yeah, I agree with him? When you just make super ridiculous statements that are so plain and obvious that it just gets your readership to agree with you. So I'll say some shit like an inexpensive vinyl-covered box would be out of place in an elegantly furnished home just so that you'll go, yeah, that's right. And you won't even question like how stupid the statement is. Okay, anyways, this is supposed to be sophisticated shit, people. This is high-end audio. This is like high-end watches. This is supposed to be sophisticated. And this is how they're talking to us? An expensive, Jesus. If you buy from me, I tell you all this stuff. I already know what goes together, what matches electronically. What he's describing here is how to do it on your own. I personally suggest getting not counting on reviewers and yourself to try and figure this out. It's count on a professional where it's his liability if he fucks up. If he doesn't send you the right thing, he doesn't match the right things, it's his fault completely. He's got to make it good. Okay? So it's like when you hire a CPA. Man, if he makes a mistake on the taxes, it's his ass, not yours, because he's a CPA. Okay? Doctors and malpractice, same thing. So it's the same with a professional. You hire an audio professional, say myself, for instance, I'm going to make sure it's right. I will know all this stuff. So you don't have to learn it. Some people don't want to learn all this bullshit. They're assuming you do here, okay? And you want to read their magazine and you want to learn all this bullshit and go down the nerd hole, okay? If you really have time for that, all the power to you. You know, I've done it. I needed to learn everything because this is what I do as a career. But if I was not doing this as a career, I'm at a point in my life where I hire professionals, okay? I don't fix my own car anymore. I hire somebody to do it. I don't even change my own oil. I have somebody else do it, okay? And there's a reason for that. It's their liability. Now, he says right here, many high-end audio dealers will let you try the loudspeaker in your home before you buy. Oh, really? I suggest you go to your local loudspeaker dealer and tell them you want to take the shit home without paying them. And then put it in your house for a while, and then bring it back if you don't like it. I think he's high right here. I don't think there's now if you know the dealer well, then sure that may happen. I would do that for anybody that I know well. You need to listen to it with your own electronics. It's absolutely foolish, in my opinion, to listen to a speaker in a dealer's place because it's not your room. They're not your electronics. So it's absolutely not going to sound the same in your room. You absolutely cannot go into a dealer and determine how something will sound in your house. It is a huge misconception if you think that's true. All you can do there is just sort of get an idea. You can touch the thing. That's what you can do. You can go in and you can see it. You can touch it. You can put your fingers on it. You know, that's what you can do. You can look at it up close. You can do all that stuff. But really, you need to get it in your home with everything. It does no good to listen to it at the dealer. Now, you get a broad stroke of what it's capable of in a commercial location. Sure, you know, you can get an idea of that. But it doesn't tell you the whole story to listen to it in the dealer. Now, he makes another point in here. It says, don't go into the dealer and get a demo and then go buy it somewhere else. I could not agree more. That's absolutely the biggest asshole thing you could do in the world, cheapskate, bitch ass, punk thing to do, is to go into a dealer, take their time up, listen to their gear, and then go try and get a better deal somewhere else. Save $100, save $1,000, whatever, somewhere else by some jackass that's gonna steal that sale. I'm totally against that. So that's right on. Next paragraph says, don't buy loudspeaker based on technical claims. Totally true. It says, listen to how the loudspeaker reproduces music. For sure. Forget about the technical hype and listen to how the loudspeaker, you'll hear whether or not the loudspeaker is any good, regardless of what the spec says. So that's totally true. Don't base your speaker purchase on brand loyalty or longevity. Many well-known and respected names have shitty designs. They're over the hill. Such a company may still produce loudspeakers, but recent products inferior performance. What usually happens is when these companies get bought by corporate interest, their performance goes to crap. When it's some sort of like corporate private equity or hedge fund or something, you know, then usually it goes out the window with the performance. So I agree to that. The brands the general public thinks represent the state of the art are actually among the worst. Oh boy, this is a big mouthful, and this is like, okay, here's where Harley and I are on the same page, okay? And I'll tell you, this is probably from this is probably taken from the 2007, because I don't think he'd be saying this right now. Because the feeling that I get is the older that these magazines were, the more truthful they were. The more recent they are, the more full of crap they've gotten, and they turn into marketing arms. He says right here in this sentence, I'll say it nice and slow. The brands, the general public, that means you guys, thinks represent the state of the art. Okay? So that's Magico, That's Wilson. That is, I mean, we could go on and on with different brands. They're actually among the worst sounding loudspeakers available. Okay? The brands the general public thinks represent the state of the art are actually among the worst sounding loudspeakers available. So he's kicking his own self in the balls, because what makes the general public think represent the state of the art? It's what the magazines present. That's what gives the general public the idea of what's state of the art. It's the freaking magazines. So he's saying in this sentence right here, we mislead you. Wow, this could not be more damning, in my opinion. The brands, because how does the general public figure out what represent the state of the art? They look at the front page of the magazines. So holy shit, he kicks himself in the balls. He kicks his magazine in the balls right here. The brands, I'm not even going to read it again. These companies were either bought, oh look at this, he even knows, we're on the same page. These companies were either bought by multinational business conglomerates who wanted to exploit the brand name. Look at this. Is Mikey crazy? Robert Harley's saying it right here. Or the company has forsaken high performance for mass market sales. Oh my God, I've been telling you guys this stuff for years now, ever since I started the channel. This is my pitch. These companies were bought by multinational business conglomerates who wanted to exploit the brand name. Look at Mark Levinson. Look at Macintosh. I mean, look at these things. They're done. Or the company's forsaken high performance for mass market sales. Right. Wadia. They want to go to a lifestyle product and sell a whole bunch of shit, so they down market their stuff. Okay, so the general public also believes the larger the loudspeaker and the more drivers it has, okay, Tecton, the better it is. Okay, but given the same retail price, there's often an inverse relationship between size, driver count, and sonic performance. A good two-way speaker can kick the shit out of a similarly priced four-way in a large floor-standing enclosure. Yeah, like I could put up the Tectons we listened to the other day. We'd be hard-pressed. I'd put the TADs in his room. You guys would be hard-pressed to want to choose the Tectons over the two-way. Well, the TADs are actually a three-way because it's a dual concentric, but that mid and two. But anyways, two high-quality drivers much better than four mediocre ones. Fully agree. Further, the larger the cabinet, the more difficult and expensive it is to make it free from vibrations that degrade the sound. Totally true. Four-way speakers' more extensive crossover will require more parts. Two-way can just use fewer high-quality parts. Large loudspeaker will be unlistenable a lot of times. The small two-way may be superbly musical. In the example of the TAD, this small two-way, it's pretty big, but and it's actually three-way, is superbly musical. It's unbelievable. If both these loudspeakers in the catalog advertise at the same price, however, you guys would buy the big one because the perceived value of more hardware for the same money is much higher. This is how we pull the wool over your eyes. We just build a big box with a shit ton of drivers. Tecton doesn't sound bad, but that's what they're doing, man. It's driver count for your money. The bottom line, you can't tell anything about a loudspeaker until you listen to it. Woo-hoo! Glory be told. So I agree with them on this one. Remember, the dealer's strategic selection of music can highlight a loudspeaker's best qualities and conceal its weaknesses. Totally. The other day I was at a dealer. He had some Wilsons and he was using DCS and Griffin, all three together. And he was playing some music that sounded really good. And I said, let me put on my music. And I played a couple things that I know reveal forward sound. One of them is Duran Duran. That stuff will exacerbate. You play Ordinary World and just listen to that, man. That will be harsh in a harsh rig, man. And the speakers, the whole deal fell apart. And I told them that, and they said, oh, it's the cables. We're waiting on the right cables. And I said, that's messed up. If that's true, and I'm taking you guys at your word value, at your face value that is the truth, then that's some bullshit, homie. Because you know what? That's bullshit. My cables, my speakers, and my rig sound should not be made or broken by the damn cables. Okay? I say it again. Anyways, visit the dealer when business is slow is what he says. So you can spend some time. Okay? Some loudspeakers are appealing at first and lose their luster as their flaws begin to emerge over time. That's right. You need to listen to them for a while. Because what is all bright and shiny at first can really lose its luster. It can become aggravating. If you're listening to the speakers and they've got electronics that are way ahead of yours, you need to dumb down the electronics to understand what it's going to sound like in your room. And that's why I say it needs to be listened to in your room. It's stupid to listen to it in a dealer's showroom is an okay thing to do if you've got some time and you just want to blow off some time and look at stuff, but it does not tell you how it sounds in your room. It's a futile exercise for learning how it sounds. Okay, and then here's crazy, okay? Now we get to the bottom, and he says, home audition removes much of the guesswork. Okay, so he gets to what I'm saying. From choosing a speaker, home audition. But because it's impractical to take every contender home, and because many dealers will not allow this. Didn't he just say at the front of the freaking thing, many dealers will allow you to take it home? Jesus Christ, dude. Like what do you think we are? I mean, this is what the magazines do. They tell you two completely separate things. In the beginning, he said, many dealers will allow you to do in-home auditions before you buy. And now he says, because many dealers will not allow this. What? Dude, this is why I don't read this shit. This is why I lose my patience. This is why I sound like I got a forked tongue. Because of this bullshit, man. I've been reading it for 23 years. It hasn't changed. These guys talk complete shit. They talk in circles. There were some tidbits in here. We pulled out the tidbits. Otherwise, we can throw all the rest of this shit out. Okay? Save your home auditioning for only those speakers you are seriously considering. Well, duh. Okay, so anyways, we went through that. You guys saw this. I took the time to pick this apart for you, okay? Because I'm just showing you how to pick these things apart and see through the bullshit. Now we go to Robert Harley's blog a few days later, okay? October 10th. So it's a week later. And he says there's no more spectacular assemblage of loudspeakers in the world than Munich. So he's talking about he goes to Munich HiFi. Okay, he says it was last week, so this is old. He did this in May. The show reveals an immense range of business models that drive speaker companies, from multinationals creating high-end speakers on a massive scale to internet. Okay, here we go with the fluff again. He says the show reveals 3 different types of business models: big, medium, and small. Okay, but the way he says it, it's just like, okay, and some of them make bespoke products, and some make mass-produced products. Duh. Okay, at one extreme, you have a company like Focal. Okay, he names a company, probably an advertiser in the magazine, which builds very high quality, he's done large numbers. Okay, he went to the factory, it does a lot of numbers, and that was just one of several lines. Large scale doesn't necessarily mean compromised performance. Well, we may argue that. Focal started as it, okay, we got that. He's pitching Focal a little bit, make him seem nice. Okay, and then there are larger size, okay, so he's going into like the medium. They use industrial techniques, but not quite the behemoths that Focal is. Then he pitches Martin, Logan, and Kef, 2 other advertisers. Many of the most respected names in high-end speaker are built on smaller scale. That's okay. These are the small guys that have the high-quality stuff. He's talking about Wilson, Magico, and YG Acoustic, 3 other guys that are advertisers. There's also a large tier of companies just below that are more limited production, small 10 to 15 employees. Okay, yeah, we get the whole idea. There's bigger companies and smaller companies. Okay, profound words here for a real sophisticated group. Every day, all around the world, this is like Sesame Street. Every day, all around the world, the milkman delivers milk to many homes. Every day around the world, many high-end speakers find their places in customers' home, ready to deliver the owner's favorite music night after night. What else are they going to do? Cook dinner? Oh my God. Okay, so this is drivel, man. Okay, and again, you know, I understand why the magazines are there, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying I hate them or anything like that, but I'm just saying, look at what this crap is. Okay, it's regurgitated pablum. Okay, I sometimes hear from disgruntled audiophiles that speakers are overpriced. Okay, that high-end models don't sound much better than the high-quality, lower-priced units, and that the manufacturers are gouging consumers. First, anyone who actually listens to a lot of speakers knows that isn't true. Oh my God, again, he just said in the last frickin' 7 days ago that it's possible that speakers are totally overpriced, and some of the ones that we think are the best known in the industry are crap. They're not good, and they're just overpriced pieces of crap. He said it, and now he says anyone who listens to a lot of speakers knows that it isn't true that the high-end models don't sound much better than high-quality, lower-priced units.
He even says high quality, lower priced units. And he just finished telling us that the lower priced units that were high quality sometimes rock the big ones at a fraction of the price. So this is ridiculous. Look at the shit you're being fed, you guys. Look at the pile of horse crap you're being shoveled into your mouth, man. And you guys chew it up and swallow it. It's ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous, bro. Yeah, I know you're not my bro, whatever. This is how I talk, you know. I consider you guys my friend. So I'm talking to you like I would a friend, okay? Get over it. There's no formality here, okay? Second, the market is so competitive that any new manufacturer tries to enter the field had better come prepared with superior product. Duh. Start off with a bang, hello. It's an extremely competitive business where only the best survives, just like anything. A speaker company owner responding to this argument once said, if you think you can make a speaker of my quality for less money, you are welcome to try. I would love to know who that is, because I would love to know who that is. He added that although his speakers are expensive, even better, he simply can't price them lower and remain in business. Well, with his overhead, I could. Other people could. But maybe all of us don't have to live in a $4 million home and have a freaking Ferrari and all that shit. But he can't price them lower to remain in business. That's just one dude. It doesn't mean this is industry wide. So it's silly to say this. Like, look at the Fisher and Fisher that I have. 1-inch thick slate pulled out of the ground in Germany, put together in an amazing way for a loudspeaker that has 0 cabinet resonance. No Chinese parts in there. The backs are open with open mid-ranges, so it images like a panel. It has the directivity and the dynamics of a box speaker with 0 cabinet resonance. So those 3 things together. Try and put those 3 things together in a speaker. See, I do it for you guys. You don't need to go here and read journalists talk about the shit from the magazines that advertise in their magazines. And look at the journalist. This guy is King Daddy journalist. He totally contradicts himself left and right. He's full of it. Come on. And you're supposed to follow this crap? You're supposed to listen to these guys? I just showed you how he contradicted himself in major ways on like 3 major things. You know? What? And this is what you guys are supposed to take as the governing body? You know? No, man. No. I'm not playing it. I'm not playing this. And I don't think you guys should play it either. Look, you can read this for entertainment. Go ahead, read it. It's entertaining. Maybe you get entertaining by all the fancy words. Look, you can read like your French aristocracy and pretend and you're special because you know how to read big words. You're special. You can buy special speakers and read special words in special magazines. You know? Oh my God, powder puff on the ass. Okay? Let's get to real business, all right, shall we? So that's it. That's all I got. Just wanted to show you the ridiculousness that is the magazines. And I don't hate them. I think they're entertaining. They're entertainment. So they're necessary. Thanks for joining. See you.